listening to, watching, hearing, smelling, tasting, and feeling sex, drugs, and skincare. Like and subscribe. Hey, welcome back to Sex, Drugs, and Skincare. I'm your host, Nikki Davis Jr., stand-up esthetician, licensed. I'm not even a licensed comedian.
You let it
lapse.
Oh man, that
Yeah.
sucks. They always do it towards the first of the year. They used to have it where it was on your birthday, you had to get relicensed.
Right.
But now they do it on your second birthday. It's like smog checks.
Oh,
It's
every other
year.
day,
So it
yeah.
throws you off because sometimes I forget to celebrate my birthday because I think it's not a smog year.
It's always a smog year when
It's
you're
always
here.
a smog year. Yeah, that's true.
By the way, this is, if you're watching this now, the fires are still probably in the news. We evacuated our place. It was on our street, kind of like coming down from Runyon Canyon, but we were lucky in that we packed up everything that we thought we wanted, which really puts it in perspective, like the things you actually want to take with you.
Turns out nothing.
Yeah, I had a few things.
Yeah, you did. I didn't. I just had the car and you and the cats and my cards.
Yeah.
And some papers, some business
papers. Your business papers.
Ironically, I left the DVD, the Big Lebowski DVD behind.
You kept your business papers.
To my business papers with the Big Lebowski.
And you stayed out of Malibu.
I stayed out of Malibu. All the deadbeats stayed out of Malibu.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then a lot of people they evacuated Malibu because of the fires, but a lot of people left because of coffee mugs to forehead injuries.
Yeah, and if you don't know what we're talking about,
watch a movie once in a while and have
seriously,
good taste.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
But
should we fill? No, let's not fill them in.
No. All right.
Tell them.
Leave. Okay. Well, maybe we should put it in the bottom, even though I'm not going to do it. These are Big Lebowski references.
Yeah, but we won't tell you what it's from, though.
Yeah, we don't want you as a listener if you don't know what that is, though.
Yeah.
No, we do. We do. We really do. And if you're,
just don't tell anybody.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we packed up. We got in the car. We had the cats in tow.
Oh, that was good improv. All right. I like that.
You like that?
End of scene, instead of saying "and scene." All right.
All right. Let's wrap.
Yep, we're done. Okay. We packed up the cats.
Pack up the cats. We got to Alhambra.
That's right.
And the cats fucking hated Alhambra.
They kept meowing about it, and yeah.
We took a pee at the Taco Bell, and then we found out the fires were kind of being contained, so we came back. Yeah,
so we came back, and that was about it. But I mean, the cool thing is that like using a Taco Bell for a bathroom is probably, I have the least amount of stomach or gastric enterology reflux. You know?
Oh, because you came in with.
I went to the bathroom. I went in there. Went to the bathroom. Done.
You go to the bathroom first.
Then you don't eat. Then you don't eat Taco Bell, and then you go home and you will have minimal heartburn.
That's a great plan.
That's how Taco Bell is. I mean, when I was younger, I used to eat everything. I used to, eat rats I'd find on the side of the road. I would cook them up.
Cook them up,
eat them. But bring them. You're not gonna eat a rat. That's a lot of disease if it's raw.
Yep, right.
But I used to eat Taco Bell as well, so I know what it's like. But now these days, it's just like I'd rather drive 40 minutes with you with the car full of everything that we think we need in our cats, and just take a little excursion to go to Taco Bell and piss. Sometimes we've gone 5 hours. There's this awesome Starbucks over in Yosemite that we drive to every couple months. We go up there and use the bathroom, and we come right back.
Yeah,
right. It's breathtaking because right out the window of this bathroom, you can see a clear view of Yosemite, and then you shit and then leave.
Right. Well, I just prefer to look at the parking lot and go.
Right, because you know that it's in Yosemite.
You're right.
Yeah, it's like nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, yeah, we just treat ourselves. So whether you're evacuating or not, go out of town and use a bathroom somewhere on a truck stop, or go to a Cracker Barrel and just, use the bathroom. Sit on the rocking chair first, get some momentum, then go to the bathroom and then leave.
There's a rocking chair, Cracker Barrel?
There's the rocking chairs. There's like chess sets. And then inside they have some sort of a potato gravy.
There's chess casserole sets in a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
That seems ironic.
Well, it's a game of chess trying to get people into those chairs because they're very, very consumery,
Mhm.
you know?
It's like a golden corral. Like if they had like a,
It's a corral, all right.
yeah, if
Yeah.
they had like,
Yeah.
tests for Mensa.
If you were collecting all the people in the world, if you were corralling all the people in the world that have to be on statins
Yeah.
and cholesterol medication, then yeah, you're corralling
That's
them.
that's the golden
But,
corral.
No, it's a good place. Again, it's a good place to go out of town and use the bathroom at. Go
That's
out of
really
town.
the best part.
Also, if you go to an REI or a Bass Pro Shop, go way out of your way and use the toilet there and then go home.
Why there?
Because it's just a place you don't need to go to unless you have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Because it's just so far out of your way, you know?
Yeah, or go to Dick's.
Yeah, go to Dick's.
We have a gift card for Dick's. We're going to have to figure out how to spend it.
The sporting goods place, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, if you were affected by the fires, not to make light of your tragedy, I feel terrible, and our hearts are with you. It's almost too much to even like to think about in more than any, you know. I can't even like rest my mind on it for even a second because it's just too devastating. I've even seen the pictures of some of the places that we've been before, and it doesn't even, nothing looks the same. Our area, ironically, looks pretty much exactly the same.
Looks better.
It looks
It looks better. They've trimmed out some of the trees up top and stuff, but enough making light about this. Let's get dark. Yeah, it's mind blowing because it's just natural. It's whether it's caused by a person or whatever, it's a natural thing that just keeps happening. And then the wind is like, hey, we're also nature. What do you want us to do about it?
Right.
We don't know. And it doesn't even have that thought, amazingly enough. So it's just something you have to kind of just try to like, I guess, figure out like how are you going to proceed with it, because you can't stop it. You can't stop the nature from happening. That's what I heard on a weatherology billboard.
I didn't realize there were such things.
Well, meteorologists have nothing to do with meteors, so I think weatherologist makes more sense.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't let my license lapse this year. I know what I'm talking about.
I think they should have declined it, but yeah.
No, I didn't say laughs. I said lapse.
Oh yeah.
People are laughing in the other room, but they're laughing at me, not with me.
Well, thank you very much. Alex said he's
okay.
laughing with me.
Okay. Well, if you're laughing at me with you, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because then it just all gets funneled back to me anyways.
Honestly, I don't even care anymore. As long as there's laughing, I just assume it's for me, and I'm going to take it the way I want to take it.
I'm so glad you said that because I agree with you, and I don't even know what we're talking about.
That's such a good yes and. Yes and? What are we even talking about?
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
Yes.
And I didn't even hear you.
And come on, let's stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our guest. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, please look. I'm excited for our guest.
Yeah, our guest today. He couldn't make it.
Our guest today is going to be getting up in 7 minutes to put more money in the meter. This person is. I'll be honest. The first time I saw them today, they were wearing a maroon shirt and kind of like a gray windbreaker.
Right.
And I thought
that's
like,
blue, but
they
okay.
should be.
Yeah.
This is blue.
Oh my God, we've had this conversation.
Alex, what color is this?
Put in the comments what color you think that is. It's blue, right?
It is a bluish.
You're colorblind.
It is a bluish.
Yeah.
Oh my God. See,
more men are colorblind than women.
And what did I say? Gray? See, he's right.
He's not right. He's colorblind.
Okay. See, yeah.
Wow.
So it's more.
It's more blue than it is gray.
It's more blue than it is gray, but it's more purple than it is blue. That's the way I look at it. Exactly. Yeah. See.
Yeah.
So he agrees with me.
Yeah. Anyways, our guest today was going to be Chris D'Elia, and I invited him on the show just so we could cancel on him in last minute. But then he was going to show up.
Yeah.
So we had to cancel on him.
Yep.
It was a whole thing.
It turns out we didn't have the right brand of moose. He's very, very moose specific.
He's into moose.
Moose. Not even. I mean,
not the hair product.
No, it's a hair product made from the animal moose, and also that character in that movie named Moose.
Is it a character?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's not going to be here today. But I'm looking forward to. I think I just unfollowed him.
You just now unfollowed him? When? Like right before the show?
No, I don't even.
I don't think I ever did follow him.
No, I don't. Here's the thing. I might have followed him, but I never got him. Anyways, we're spending too much time. He's going to blow up.
I'm trying to make this edgy so that someone will hate me enough to follow me and then unfollow me.
That's a good way to be.
Don't you think?
I think so, yeah. You just throw out. That's what people do with hate speech. I think people who are hateful just throw it out there because they're not full of hatred. But then they're like, yeah, I hate that too. And they're like, okay, maybe this will catch on. And then like they'll like, oh, I'll use this bad power for good one day, and then they end up becoming president again.
Speaking of the color orange,
Mhm.
I love your shoes.
Thank you very much. It's also my favorite TV show that I watched for one season on Netflix. The color orange, what's that? Is the new black.
The color orange is new. Will you hand me that little water over there? Is that
Yes.
yours or mine?
This is,
Can we share the little? I don't want to open
This
up
is
two
Kirkland's.
plastic bottles. No. I don't. I actually don't want. I want the micro amount of microplastics in my microplastic.
That's the one thing people don't tell you.
Oh,
The
you
smaller
did have
bottles.
another one. Okay,
I did have
all right.
another one. But I'm eventually gonna.
Here. Let me- oh, this is perfect. This is just the amount I wanted. Oh, it's almost too much.
You know what's funny is I think that maybe there was a point in time in human culture where that was the serving size for water, just like the serving size for food was like this, and then you go to the Golden Corral, and the soothing size for food is like this, but there's no water.
But the toilets are like this.
Mhm. Yeah, the toilets are like this. The only place there's water in the Golden Corral is the toilets. Did you know that? Even the faucets in the restaurant in the bathroom are ranch.
And there's a pudding bar in there.
There's a pudding bar
24/7.
That's right. People are like, oh, it's pudding, and it's like, no, because it's poop. People.
Because
It makes it easier. If you poop and shit in the same place, people don't know what it is. They're like, just go sit down, have another plate.
Right. Oh my
You know?
God.
I used to love eating there.
You did
As a-
really know.
Well, I mean, like when you're in that mode of when you go to that place, you're not like, I'm going to sit down and have a sensible, and the food tastes great. No, you inundate yourself.
I did. I got anorexic when my dad took me there, and I ate only garbanzo beans.
Where were you when your dad took you?
Arkansas,
Okay,
obviously.
see, there you go.
Yeah. Everybody who walked in there, and I say walked loosely, they all were wheeled in.
They're good people.
They were in wheelchairs with oxygen tanks, and didn't. Anyways, yeah.
I've seen that story too. I was in Orlando, Florida. You know, Mecca of America, and there's like a Chinese restaurant, and what was it?
I was
you're
facing
bowing.
Mecca. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good sense of direction you have there.
Yeah. I just assumed it's that direction.
Wow. And you're right. If we face the cameras in the right direction, you'll be right. And I'll be left.
Okay.
But I went to Orlando, and there was like a thanks, Alex. And it was in that direction I pointed to. So
Oh, good.
it was a restaurant, it was a Chinese restaurant, and buffet.
Yeah,
You know,
a
the kind when
buffet.
you walk up and you put the ingredients down there, and they also cook it for you too, like the grill. I forgot what it's called. The hibachi grill, maybe.
Okay.
Is it? Maybe I'm thinking of
Like Benihana kind of thing?
kind of thing. But they cooked it there, then you walked off with your food.
Right.
It wasn't like right in the middle
It's
of the restaurant.
like an omelet bar, but you bring your... then you-
Exactly.
Okay.
You bring your own omelets. Hey, you
Hey, will you cook this omelet for me?
you from around here? You eat omelets around here? It's an omelet bar.
Yeah.
But so I sat down, and we're eating food or whatever, and there's a table where there's two very, very large people with oxygen tanks eating food, and then they had 3 children, and when they would finish eating, they would pass the empty plates to their kids, and they would say, unironically, and go get your daddy some more food, or go get your mama some more food, just
Wow.
like that. Dip. And I sat there eating, just shoved my face, going, "That's disgusting," and I just kept filling up.
Just
But
judging
when
them.
you're in that mode, eating buffets, you're like, you don't go in there like you go in there, and you expect to leave, going, "Oh man, that was terrible. That was a bad idea." For some reason, I don't know why. It's like you think you're doing something.
Yeah, you
it's
got
not-
away with something.
Yeah, you got all that food. We tricked me. Meanwhile, they're in the back, cooking it with like, garbage.
Just cooking it with garbage.
I lost my improv.
Yeah. That's another good improv.
Yeah.
I lost my improv.
My improv evacuated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's good clap.
okay, so
Hold on, Nikki. What's today's show about?
it's so interesting that you should ask me that because I want to try to make this apropos to something. And I was really kind of hoping to have a guest because I'm going to really need you to help me make this funnier. Because normally it's like me and I'm sort of, I slide between mildly funny and an esthetician. And then we've got you making the commentary and then the guest who's asking questions who is also funny and the crosstalk and everything. So now it's just me
Totally.
just giving information.
Yeah, I always thought the guest got in the way. I always thought the guest was just fucking just like, why you? Come on.
The subject is common misconceptions about wound care.
Okay.
You don't
Okay.
seem impressed.
I'm impressed. I'm just wondering. There's common misconceptions.
Yes.
What are the uncommon misconceptions of wound care?
That's a really good point.
See, like it begs to differ. It begs the question:
Yes.
what is the other side of it? You know?
Yeah. Well,
So-
maybe you could come up with some of your own.
Okay.
So let's go with the ones that we know of.
Yes, and then I'll think of the opposite
Yes.
for reference in my head.
Yeah, we need you to be funny on this episode. So, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to touch you.
No, it's okay. That's just where it's my favorite knuckle.
Oh, so
Yeah.
yeah. You had it in a sandwich earlier. Okay.
I did. You son of a gun.
All right. So one of them, okay,
Mhm.
number one is that you use rubbing alcohol or hydrogen peroxide. I don't know when you grew, I mean, I know when you grew up, but when I grew up, Alex, are you saying the same thing? We were told to put,
Drink it.
yeah, just to drink it by the pint.
You mix them together, and it was called a. What was it called? An emergency car bomb?
Yes.
Instead of like mixing the drinks together, you know, the beer and the Guinness or whatever,
Oh, right.
the pint or whatever. Yeah, but okay.
Yeah. So apparently, yeah, it's not good to do that because with the hydrogen peroxide, it oxidizes it because it releases oxygen into your wound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that what all the bubbling is?
That's what the bubbling is, which is cool. You know what? I'm still going to use it because, you know, like if sometimes it's just easier to do that than to get an infection if you don't have any other way to clean it. But it's also oxidizing the actual skin around it as well, which is like killing that skin. So,
okay.
you know how we use antioxidants. That's because we don't want to oxidize hardcore our cells.
And oxidizing basically just like kind of breaking it down by oxygen, right?
Yeah.
When so like a paint gets oxidized or whatever, like it kind of scrapes, it pulls out the layer off of it or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
So, and I know that like, yeah, alcohol was like definitely put some alcohol on it. If it burns, you're doing good. That means it's getting in there. And then and plus sometimes it's so funny. You're like, you feel the wound. You feel like you're powerful because you're like, oh, I'm doing something good for myself.
Yeah, you bite on a wooden spoon while somebody pours vodka over your leg.
Yeah, that's a good one. You're lucky if it's wooden.
Yeah.
Like all these, like I grew up with like a lot of lead-based spoons. It was a lot of iron furniture and everything. So
that's dangerous.
Yeah, especially for flatware.
Lead flatware.
Yeah, when you have plates made of like, you know, like just slag, you know, from like making blacksmithing your own plates. As a kid, but no,
you're a busy kid going. You were making the plates for the Golden Corral. It was the pewter corral.
The pewter corral.
Corral. I don't know. Never mind.
Pewter corral.
Shut up.
Purell.
Purell.
But so back to the peroxide. I remember hearing something about like if you use it on a wound, it actually will change like the shape of the wound because it's like pulling it back or whatever.
Right.
So it can actually scar it. It can actually cause like
it's going to cause more scarring.
Or like it'll change like the margins of the wound or whatever and change the healing of it.
That makes sense because if you have a wound and the flesh is sort of being, you know, oxidized and pulled away. Because,
for people who are watching this down here, Nikki's doing something up here and she's doing this, which is like the bubbles over here. And if you're listening to this and not watching it, I move my hand up about a foot.
Yeah.
Both of them.
And he's wiggling
and I'm wiggling my fingers, which is like the oxygen coming into the thing like this.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. Here's another one that that I recently I know now not to do it, but people do it a lot of times. And this is appropriate. It's when you get a burn. Have you ever been told to put butter on it?
No.
Apparently that's what people do to make to make the wound heal faster.
To put butter while it's like right after it happens?
Yeah, putting butter on it.
Okay. Oh wait, so can we go back for 1 second?
Yeah.
I just want to so instead of putting alcohol and peroxide on there, what would you do instead?
Well, I have a list of other things you could do instead, but as long as you're asking as far as like what you would apply, you would want to just soap and water first.
Okay.
Yeah, you might want to have to pull it open again, which you
with
know,
soap and water too,
and then soap and water it.
Oh wow!
Right, and then you're gonna maybe put like some of that triple antibiotic stuff, and then like a Band-Aid. But I mean, I just skipped to the end of the whole podcast. So thank you very much, you guys. I'll see you next week.
Oh, okay, cool. Wow, this was incredible.
Yeah,
I can't believe that.
Yeah, I know.
All right, well, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
and what I was gonna say was, as a kid, I could only afford double antibiotic. I couldn't get the triple antibiotic stuff.
Yeah.
And ironically, we had AAA for our cars, but not for our wounds.
Your wounds. No.
Nope.
Wow.
So
that's really sad.
All right. So back to what you were saying. I was just curious because, you know, I was thinking about like some old tricks that I heard as a kid, but we'll get to those later.
Okay. Well, we can just go one by one. If you know of one that's actually a good one, and I'll tell you if you're wrong. In this case, you would want to, if you have a burn, and I had a little burn on my finger the other day from the, because I forgot that when you take stuff out of the oven at 450 degrees, that you can't actually take it out with your hand.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So it just was like a little burn on my finger. And because I work with my hands, I was kind of panicked. So I just ran it under cold water, and then I got a glass of water and I stuck it in there for about 10 and 15 minutes. You got to do it quick because the burning will continue to burn as long as, you know what I mean? Like, even though you don't see it on the surface, it's just continually going down and burning, especially if it's a bad burn.
So you want to keep it cool at that point.
You want to cool it off. Yeah. And make it, moist, wet.
So if you do that with like water, then you like put your finger in a glass of water, right? Then you go outside with a glass of water, put your finger up on like a really windy day. It'll be really, really cool against it. Plus, you can just stand there all day long and tell everybody which way the wind is blowing. You'll know firsthand or
first finger.
Well,
the problem with that is, and that's another one, is that you don't want your wounds to be completely dry. Do you remember hearing that? It's like, keep your wound dry.
Yeah, because when it dries, it starts to heal or whatever. But keeping it, yeah, that makes sense. Keeping it like moist or whatever, like wet, would mean like that. It takes even that much longer for it to dry, and then
no, but it's really, you're supposed to keep it moist.
Okay.
So the other day when I had the burnt finger, took it out of the water, put a Band-Aid around it. Casualty. Yeah, I was making vegan sweet potato brownies. Yeah, it was worth it.
I hear a story every day.
And I put the Band-Aid on, and it didn't hurt after that. I left it on for like 2 days. I didn't even put anything else on it. But I just kept it moist, and it didn't blister or anything. And I saw a line across my finger where it was going to burn. So and this is like a very not serious burn. If you've got a major burn, definitely major burn. Isn't that from MASH?
I think so.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that,
then you're watching MASH on KTTV, channel 11 from 1973.
Wow, that's a specific
you like
television.
That reference?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. So
another good improv. Very nice.
Oh yeah, very nice. Yeah, I like that. And then mine, I like that.
I like that.
Yeah. Go to the hospital and have it treated. Don't do any of what we're saying, except for just temporarily to get you from here to the hospital.
Yeah.
Before you can, you need someone else to professionally look at. And I'm not a doctor, by the way. Did I mention that?
I don't know. Sometimes you forget to say it.
I'm not a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
But you did make a MASH reference.
I did make a MASH reference. So, yeah.
Kind of a doctor.
Yeah. When you talk about MASH, it does kind of make you a doctor. It's yeah. All right.
It's on my radar.
Oh, come on. That was not that good.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah. Alex was telling me he was a clinger back in the day.
I was gonna say.
Really?
Yeah, you beat me to it. Now I can't think of any of the other characters.
Jamie Farr? Was that his name?
Jamie Foxx. I think it was Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx was in MASH. That's what I was thinking of. Jamie Farr was in those movies with Tom Cruise.
And then P. Diddy poisoned Jamie Farr. And that's why he was in a coma for 23 days.
That's right, because he and Keaton Ivory Wayans shook hands once.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I just figured like that's a great name to say, even though he had nothing to do with any of this stuff. I don't know him personally, so I can tell you 100%.
Well, there's a big rumor right now. The reason why, remember when Jamie Foxx got sick?
That P. Diddy knew something, or Jamie Foxx knew something. Yep.
Governor knew something.
Yeah, and then P. Diddy was like, if you tell shit about me, I'll tell people why you have 2 X's on your last name, when only one will just do just fine. And yeah, and then he gave him I think he gave him a severe case of athlete's foot. And he had to go to the hospital for a while.
That's our next topic, but next week, fungus. So he gave him a fungal infection. He gave him the worst fungal infection ever. No, he gave. I don't know really what happened.
We don't know,
but that's what he's saying, which is very interesting. Go on TikTok for the last couple of days before they cancel it, and go down that rabbit hole, and then try to sleep.
It'll never be
good
canceled.
Luck. You don't think
TikTok?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think?
No, it makes too much money for people here.
And how are people going to have conspiracy theories?
Right. And people are going to start here's my thing. If they do cancel it, they're going to come out with another TikTok, but spelled correctly. Because maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe they're like, somebody just noticed it's not spelled right. And someone's like, oh God, we need to get rid of this.
This is a perfect opportunity to correct the spelling.
To respell it, yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Because if you do it now, it's rebranding.
Right.
Right.
But now you got to respell it.
Anyways, this has just been a podcast of just open wounds that are disguised as jokes,
branding
that are just really hurting. I'm branding all of this. Yeah, but tell me more about.
All right. Applying butter might actually make it worse because I'm assuming it would make it the butter will heat up, right? What's that? It will make you tasty. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does sound delicious. I just watched that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer was shaving with butter, and then he was
Oh.
and then he was sunbathing with butter.
Oh my God.
And he over suntanned.
Oh, and then he's like orange,
and
isn't
he's
he?
orange, and then like and then he has butter all over him, and then he falls into a vat of oregano, and then he gets hit in the face with a bunch of Parmesan, and then Newman is just staring at him, and he wants to eat him.
Well, see, this is what can happen to you if you put butter on a wound.
You don't do that.
No.
And it's all back to Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm. It always comes back.
It doesn't come back to Seinfeld.
And Superman.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't use the butter.
Is it people put butter because they think it's like natural, and they're like, oh well.
I don't know.
It seems like such a weird thing that you would use.
I've heard it before though too. You know what I heard in kitchens, and I don't know if it really works or not. It's just to throw egg white on it. I don't know if that works. It's usually like the kitchen staff. So I usually believe anybody who's in the kitchen staff because they usually have, access to, something their grandmother told them. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandmother always said, never wash your hands ever and make all the food. And that's what she did.
My God, we went to a vegan restaurant the other day and, there was only one person working there at the desk. I don't think he was working in the kitchen though, right?
No, I don't think he was working in the kitchen.
But he was still serving the food.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we saw him. There was nobody at the desk. We walk in. We see that the door's closed. He's in the bathroom.
He's in the bathroom, yeah.
And then
we hear the bathroom motions, but we never hear any running water or anything the like.
No.
Not even somebody going, shh, just to pretend.
Yeah.
And then he came right back out and like, oh, table. And then I said, smoking, please. I made a joke.
Right.
And then that didn't work because I was trying to like mask I'm like, oh, this guy didn't wash his hands.
Yeah.
And then he just brought we didn't care. I was like, you know what? I'm eating this
hungry.
Food. I'm going to play along.
I'm going to play along.
Every country has different cultures. Every country has different cultures. Every person has different cultures of bacteria on their hands. And he came out.
That is the truth.
And he came out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter, but it was just funny. It was like, oh,
You did go. You said, I wish that I didn't know that he didn't wash his hands.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did say that, but then I still continue to eat the food.
Yeah.
And that's second time in a row that we've eaten there, and I haven't got indigestion. But it is really good.
Yeah. It was a good place in the valley.
Oh my God, you're telling where it is.
I know.
No.
I'm just going to cruise the valley
People
until
are
they
going to
find
go
it.
so many valleys all over the country.
And then wait until the staff goes into the restroom to see who doesn't wash their hands.
Yes.
On the off chance that they at least go in there and fake turning on the water, and then you fake taking the paper towels out.
Whenever I go in the bathroom, even if it's just me and the cats in the apartment, I turn the water on so the cats think I wash my hands. And then I come out. Yeah, at least do that. But again, maybe he's conserving water. Maybe that little bit of water he used then could be the water that saved the life this week.
You know what? That's really true. I hadn't even thought about that.
I know, because it's not a rational thought to have. And it's not anything that anybody would have because it's bullshit.
Yeah, Alex is agreeing.
Yeah.
Thank you, he said.
Yeah. So don't use butter on wounds. Wash your hands in the bathroom.
Yes, please wash your hands before you serve the food. Especially, yeah.
You got served.
You got served. Oh, yeah.
You got served Ebola. What? Why?
Just some MRSA on the side. Okay, so don't use salt water to cleanse a wound. This surprised me.
That's like the first thing I heard. Warm water, hot water, salt water. Like that's what cleansed everything. That's what we put on a wound.
I would think, because I don't really know what the theory is about why it doesn't work, but my theory is if you're getting salt water from the ocean, it's going to be polluted. No matter where you are, the oceans are polluted, especially at the coast, and so you're going to get some garbage up in your wound. Literally, yeah. Yeah. So other than that, I mean, I guess it would dry it out a bit because salt tends to draw water out of things.
Okay.
You know, that's why you put it on eggplant and it draws the water out. Did you ever see your mom do that?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
You brine it. It's called brining, and you put the eggplant, you put it in the slices, and then you just really salt it, and then the water over the next hour or two or whatever, it sweats it out.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so water will cause moisture to come out.
That's what that's why they also use it for like medical procedures to like evacuate bowels and whatnot. Speaking of evacuations.
Oh, salt.
Because salt will actually pull in moisture to it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
which causes what they call a water park effect. That's what doctors call it.
The water park effect.
The water park effect.
Yeah, they call it the raging waters. Yes.
Raging waters. Yeah.
I had my what do you call it? My colonoscopy in San Dimas.
Did you really?
No, because it's raging waters.
No,
yeah,
I know, because
okay.
I was thinking of what's that movie? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, did they go to San Dimas?
Yeah, and they went to Raging Waters too.
Oh, they did. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. You know what? You're right. I'm going to pretend like I knew that. You're right.
Yeah. Do you remember?
I do actually. I do actually remember the
Oh, I can't
San
believe
Dimas.
you're right about that. Yeah, you're so right about that. I got it wrong about the movie. You're right.
Shut up. That's another good one. You're right.
You're right. And then also, shut up.
Yeah. And
That's my favorite one.
Another good
Shut
improv.
up.
Yeah. Shut up. And then you just walk out.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else we have?
So no hot water. No salt
no
water.
No salt water. You
know
want to
that.
use soap and water for a wound. For even with a burn, I would assume you want to use a little bit of maybe soap once it stops burning. If it's open, if it's just blistered, I guess you could probably just dress it at that point and keep it moist.
Okay.
And then also thinking that a topical antibiotic cream is always, this says that it's always significantly improves the healing. The truth is that most wounds benefit from so you're putting, right. Okay. Cause you're putting the topical antibiotic on it. That's going to keep it moist. And then let's see.
Yeah, but is it basically like if you put is it saying to just keep it moist instead? Because if you keep it moist with the ointment's basically like it's a petroleum based, so it blocks it from the air.
That makes sense.
So it keeps it moist, but it actually like just it puts it. They call it the Tupperware effect.
It's in the doctor's journals.
The Tupperware effect, where you basically lock in the moisture, and then
I always wondered that though.
Yeah.
Because you're keeping, I mean, I guess you are still keeping the air out, but like how much antibiotic can actually get into you're not going to put an antibiotic on like an open gaping wound.
Yeah. I guess it's like in that situation, you do it so that at least it blocks it from like maybe initial, like infection. If you just need to like put it on there and like you're on the go,
right?
Like if
you're
like
on the go, wounds on the go.
Yeah, like if you're like, let's say you cut your finger, whatever, you put some antibiotic, then you go back to like slaughtering pigs, like whatever you do for a living, you go back to just doing that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And put a finger condom on there.
Yeah, absolutely. You put a little AAA if you're lucky. Because some places only have AA. I mentioned, and then you put the AAA. Put it on, then you keep slaughtering pigs.
Wow.
Everybody has different jobs, but as long as we keep
everyone has different jobs.
As long as we keep our wounds moist.
Wow, you really ran with the instruction I gave you earlier, and I appreciate that.
Oh, of course. I just filling nonsense.
Okay, so a moist environment is generally better for wound healing. So keep it, so avoid keeping it dry. Air exposure does not necessarily promote healing, and it can actually slow it down.
Okay.
And another one is that scabs are always good. That's another misconception, according to, and I forget.
Scabs are not always good.
They're not always good.
Okay.
They're a natural part of healing. Yeah. Yes. Alex inquired whether or not you would eat them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're always good. So like
they are always good.
Yeah, you have to figure out.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in a pinch.
Yeah, in a pinch. Nice.
Eat it.
Oh my God. But they can also hinder the process because they are blocking off, I guess they're just blocking off the process. And so, so it's better to like
the Tupperware effect again.
It's got the Tupperware effect. So it's better to like keep it moist.
Yep.
And then gently as you can, without removing any of like the actual like live baby skin underneath, just get some of the scab off.
Okay.
Just gently though. You don't want to rip it off. It has to be like ready kind of to come off. And then, and that's why keeping it moist actually helps, because otherwise you get the big thick scab on top. Yeah. And then if you pull that off, then there's like just fresh baby skin underneath.
Okay. So it almost seems like there's like a certain, method to the way the body is healing itself, obviously.
Yeah.
But like in nature, does that happen where like other animals get scabs and they just know instinctively to like peel
lick it
off?
They lick it though.
They lick it though,
They
right?
lick their wounds.
Okay. Oh yeah. So you lick your wounds to keep it moist, and then
they also have like enzymes and stuff in their spit, which will probably break down some of the scab.
Right. But we don't, because that's not how because typically what animals in the wild, they don't eat as much like Taco Bell as we do.
Yeah.
And so all the enzymes are healing.
I wonder
their skin.
if your mouth was clean enough, if you could do that. Because, I mean, we do have enzymes in our mouth that help break down the food because digestion begins in the mouth.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. That's what I'm wondering. Like I have no idea how humans are supposed to eat or still at all.
Definitely. I can vouch for that.
I have no idea.
He has no idea.
Even like putting it in my mouth, I'm like, are you sure this is right? But I feel like it's, like if we did it, like have like a diet that was typically what a human being was made for, or whatever it is, like we would probably be able to heal ourselves by licking ourselves. But then like, the doctors don't exist at that point.
Well, and also humans' mouths are way dirtier than animals. Way dirtier. I don't know why, but they are.
Yeah. And humans brush their teeth in theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
in theory. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wanted to mention a couple things about infection, so like when something is infected.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something called what is it? Can you read it?
Erythema?
Erythema, yeah.
Erythema.
Erythema, okay.
Erythema.
Which I'm assuming is it's a classic sign of local infection.
Classic sign of local infection.
I'm assuming because it has EMA on the end of it, it's probably like the swelling, like lymph, like edema.
Yes.
Right? If your wound is red and swollen, then you've probably, and especially if you touch it, when you push on a wound, if you're touching it and it's not the first day, you might want to get it checked out because it's infected underneath the skin, right?
Just like the circle, like around it.
Yeah, or just exactly. Yeah, it's usually the circle around it because your skin is trying to send it red blood cells.
Oh,
your body is rather.
That's disgusting.
A foul odor. Check for foul odors.
For on a
wound.
Wound?
Yeah.
Okay. What's a foul odor?
I think you'll know when you smell it.
You think so?
I think it's one of those. Yeah.
My grandmother said the same thing.
Yeah.
You don't know. You'll know when you smell it. It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandmother. Well, she never showered or wore deodorant, but she was very good at giving advice.
Why do I feel like that's true?
It is true. Yeah.
Heat in the peri-wound. So yeah, if the wound is hot, that's your body trying to like make a little fever in your body to kill the infection. I have noticed that certain wounds, like my hand would be hot if like I had like a cut somewhere or something like that. Mm-hmm. It would feel like or just at a touch, it feels even hotter. Yeah, that's crazy. I still have. They're healing now, but the other day our cat, who's like 25 pounds, decided that he was gonna, and he's very nimble. He did this on purpose, sure. I think, to get my attention. He jumped up on the couch and then fell and then took his claw and then sunk it into my leg to get traction, to get traction. But he was hanging all 25 pounds of his body off of my knee to pull himself up. Yeah. So I had like 3 little wounds there. So I just cleaned them up. Mm-hmm. You told me just to like wash them with soap and water, I think. Maybe, yeah, I think something like that. I said alcohol. See, I went back to the alcohol. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. But that's nuts though. Which, by the way, I'm glad he did that because never go mountain climbing with him. No, my God, he's the worst. Because imagine like if you fell down a mountain, he would go, he would just climb onto you. Yeah. And he's always. I'm sorry. Are you busy? Did we interrupt your texting? No. I have a question from the producer here. Oh, so it's about the show. Okay. Yeah. Unbelievable. So, what about toothpaste on skin for burns? Ooh. Per the Hispanic family that he has. Interesting. See. My family is in the same thing too, like the home remedies passed down. So how about toothpaste? Have you heard of that? No, because it seems like toothpaste, and then this is just me, the mintiness of it might make a burn feel worse. And it also is drying. It's very possible, Alex, that your mother hated you. Maybe your mother was subconsciously trying to tell you to brush your teeth more. And she was like, why don't you put that on a burn? But I could see something like that being a thing. Like in a situation where, like, let's just say, like, you don't know what's going on, whatever. You're like, we don't have anything else. Maybe it's liquid Band-Aid, so that you're covering it. It's sealed. Right. Now you know that nothing's. Then you go home and you wash it off. Yeah, you can like temporarily. Plus, honestly, like a nice minty fresh wound. You're like, it smells great, Yeah. And they put it next to your mouth. You're like, oh my God, did you brush your teeth? It's like, no, it's my wound. And you have a little conversation starter. I like that. Yeah. There was like a lot of remedies where like that was oil. Put the oil on it, something like that. Yeah, oil was like just something to cover it. What was that movie where
We talked about this recently too, like the Windex. It was like we put on everything basically. It was my big
fat Greek
Greek
wedding.
fat guy,
Yeah.
the Greek wedding, the Greek wedding. So what's up with Greek weddings? Why are they so big and fat?
I don't know.
I don't get it. But that was like part of it. So like there's like the people have these things in their heads about like what is good, what's disinfected. But I had no idea the alcohol was like just such a staple.
Right. I mean, honestly, like if that's all you have, I would say use it if like you're in the middle of the forest, but like it shouldn't be your go-to.
No, not at all.
Right.
No, also don't be in the middle of the forest without the right shit.
Yeah. Or have a wound out there.
Yeah. Don't have a wound in the forest.
So here's one I didn't know what this was. And maybe you can tell me. Purulent drainage. What's purulent mean?
Purulent.
I feel like you would know the answer to this question.
I don't know. Purulent drainage.
Now there's pure, like pruritus, but that's like PRUR, and that's like hives.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is PURULENT.
It would make me think that it would be almost like, because I'm thinking about the wound healing, like I've had like almost like drainage coming through the wounds, like through the pores almost. And then I can think of almost like a little bit like a yellowness to it, like a tint.
That could be what they're talking about. Oh, purulent might be the yellowness of it, which means it's infected. Again, if it's yellow, if it's turning green, you need to get it looked at.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up a word here. Not that word. I'm looking up a different word for next week's podcast. So I just want you to know that I'm here. I'm focused. Okay. So consisting or containing, see? Or discharging pus.
Oh, pus. Right. So purulent is referring to pus. Okay.
Yep. Okay. I was thinking pus because the yellowness. I was like, purulent. What kind of discharge would you have that'd be concerning?
Yeah.
Conserving.
Conserving?
Sorry. I meant to say alarming, and it would be purulent, which would be like the yellowness of it. And also a fun fact, did you know that pus is spelled P-U-S?
It is?
It's not P-U-S-S.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, that's puss. Pus is just
why is that word funny to me?
I don't know. I don't know why. It's hilarious. Also, you'd think that like P-U-S would be puss.
Yeah.
And pus would be P-U-S-S. But that's just one of those,
Right. Or again, P-U with an umlaut S would be puss.
Yeah. Puss.
Puss.
Yeah. And boots, B-U, umlaut, B, umlaut over the U-T-S.
What's that?
Puss in boots.
Oh, puss in boots. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, at least we got to the bottom of it. At least we figured that one out.
Okay. So, also, if you're a doctor, this particular one was aimed at doctors, saying that just giving someone just like an oral antibiotic is going to be good for the wound. They're going to need something else topical as well, because you don't want to just give somebody an antibiotic just for your wound, and
because it has to go through your whole body to fix that one specific area.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, you're leaving it open, and
you're exposing yourself to unnecessary antibiotics, and
doctors
and
unnecessary doctors.
Yes, it's the name of my new soap opera.
Yeah, unnecessary doctors.
Yeah.
What's your copay? And then like whatever the music they have. Yeah.
So using antibiotics too much, oral antibiotics, are going to lead to the development of antibiotic resistant strains of bacteria. And we don't want that, right?
No.
That's what horror movies are made out of.
Yes, exactly.
So what can we do? Okay. Basic wound care cleaning. We already mentioned, wound care includes cleaning. You want to wash around with soap and water, which just seems very basic. Remove any dirt and debris. If you've fallen and
Does it matter what kind of soap? I use like very, very fragrant soap.
I would use as much as plain as possible. But if you only have that, then soap will tend to get the.
I find that herbal essence was the best as far as getting wounds out and also making it smell good.
They make a bar of soap or the shampoo?
Oh, no, just shampoo.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay. But I guess you could use, I come from the 70s. We didn't have shower gel, and
you had bar soaps.
We used bar soaps.
How did you squeeze the soap out of the bar soap out of the bottle?
Yeah.
You have to
we would cut it with a knife, like our Irish Spring, to make sure that it was green and white all the way through.
That's what it was. You were whittling soap. Whittling. Everybody, okay, here's your sliver of soap for the day. And you'd give people slivers of soap for showers.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, I grew up in Van Nuys. That makes sense.
Yeah. And you get like a little It's
little
like
sliver of soap.
yeah, it always looked like hard butter, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
ugh.
it looked kind of fun actually.
It looked kind of delicious. I was like, why does that look good?
I know.
Like, why do you have a knife? Oh, we were doing a soap commercial. All right, so who has a knife? No, trust me, it don't
They're
make
in the
sense.
middle of Ireland, like on the coast of Ireland, with
Yeah.
chopping up.
Yeah, over
green
there they just
soap.
call it spring. By the way, there's no Irish spring.
They just call it
so,
spring. Yeah.
It's so stupid.
All right. You can use antibacterial soap. Or now this is saying or a saline solution to help kill the bacteria. So why not salt water? Maybe because the salt water is going to be, if you're just using like the ocean,
Yeah.
you don't want to just go in the ocean because of the bacteria that's floating in the ocean. If you're having a sterile saline solution, then I guess you could do that to flush it out a little bit. But again, avoid using the hydrogen peroxide or now. See, I thought iodine was okay. This is saying this can irritate your wounds.
Okay.
Is iodine the same thing as mercurochrome?
I think you're thinking of Pastellonion.
What's that?
I don't know.
Is that an era?
you said mercurochrome as if like, oh yeah, I know what that is.
Well, yeah, mercurochrome. You put it it has like a little wand in the bottle, and then you I think it's like red.
Oh,
like
okay.
reddish yellow.
I don't.
Yeah, right.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I think you said Macaulay Culkin.
It's for you put it on your nails so you don't bite them. Why does it taste bad? Oh, okay. So don't eat mercurochrome either. That's I didn't know that. That makes sense. It seems like it would be very bitter. And then you want to cover it with a bandage, or some rolled gauze, and something that it's going to hold it in place, tape. Tape would be good. Yeah. And if you have a good Band-Aid, obviously you can use. They make great Band-Aids now. Like
they actually, they actually stick.
Yeah, they actually stick. I had to actually take one off the other day. Like normally they just fall off when I'm doing something like cooking.
Oh yeah, when you get and then it falls off and your fingers all like white and pruny, and you're like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah. It looks like a grape.
Yeah, like a white grape.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks. I'm glad you made it.
It's going in the teaser.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And you want to change your Band-Aid apparently once a day. I didn't change my Band-Aid. I left it on there for a good 2-3 days, but it was a very minor burn. But that's minor burns.
Minor burn?
Yes. Yeah, it's a minor burn. Yeah. It talks back to you.
Your fingers talking back to you.
Change it. Or whenever it becomes wet or dirty, the Band-Aid itself.
Right. Okay.
And then you can apply a thin layer of the antibiotic if you can afford triple, go for it.
Yeah.
And that's going to help you prevent the scarring. It says you could even put a little bit of PJ, petroleum jelly.
To prevent the scarring?
Yeah, prevent scarring.
Okay.
And I think that's because it keeps the moisture in.
Okay.
So it doesn't get crusty.
But so then that's afterwards though, because the petroleum jelly would basically do the same thing that the AAA double MCO would do on the scab? Like basically keeping it so that like the air wouldn't be able to get to it.
Yeah.
And okay. So you want it afterwards to prevent scarring.
Right. Yeah. But once it's under control.
Gotcha. So keeping it moist basically is the rule of thumb here.
Yeah, keeping it moist. Now also keep in mind that this is like very minor wounds we're talking about. If you're getting a 2nd or 3rd degree burn, that's all bets are off. You need to
stop listening to the show immediately and get medical care.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had those too, and I didn't go to the doctor. And the skin on my face turned necrotic. It was black on one side of my face and came off, which is, I really truly believe why I don't have that much. For the amount of sun damage that I should have, I don't really have that much. And I have a feeling that it's because it all peeled off. Because it was bad. I couldn't go in the sun. I couldn't even leave my house for 3 months one summer.
Wow.
Yeah, I did it for a boy.
When was this?
17. And boy, I was on the beach, and this is my normal skin color, probably even whiter. And like you're being, I don't know why I said it's my normal skin color. Like, oh, is she bleaching it to make it look like that?
Yeah, people want to know things. Yeah. So I'm glad that you clarified.
Yeah. But the guy told me, he goes, you look really good with a tan. So naturally I just went to sleep in the sun.
People say the dumbest shit to people all the time. But yeah. And so you went there and.
He was an Italian though. So, he didn't know that you can't just lay in the sun because if you're
Italians are idiots.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. Trust me. I grew up with myself. I grew up with me.
Have you ever had a sunburn?
Yeah, of course.
Like a painful sunburn?
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
A blistery one?
I think so. Maybe like not too many, like not much, but Maybe.
I mean, I
I'm
don't
pretty
think I ever
sure-
got through a summer that didn't have blisters on my shoulder or on my chest. Just from being left outdoors too long.
Yeah. Left out to- There was people we knew that like would come down from like, Canada, friends of the family, and they'd come down always, like the snowbirds during like the colder months up there, they'd be down here, and they would go to the beach, and they would go to the beach where they would have sunburns and still go to the beach.
Oh my
and like
God.
blisters all over their chest and still go to the beach and never complain about it. And I was like, how bad is it in Canada that you or whatever? Like it's
that important for them to reemerge into their country with a tan, honestly.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, because when they really, it was like, it looked like painful. Like every time they were there, it was always that way.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand. But I mean, I have no idea why people would want to do that.
Well, it's because you have a tan all the time, naturally. Okay, so we talked about don't pop or drain your blisters ever.
Mm-mm.
Ever. You want to pat it just dry to keep it intact.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have sutures on this wound, on said wound, I guess you would have the doctor remove them.
Well, if he's not busy,
If
or
he's-
she's not busy, or they're not busy.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking for any other ones. Choice of wound dressing depends on the type of the wound and the stage of healing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these keep going back to seek medical attention. If you're prone to non-healing wounds, there are people who just have wounds that won't heal. There's entire wound care centers for people who have wounds that will not heal.
Mm-hmm.
My stepmom had that, where she like had been in an accident and the wound just wouldn't heal. And it was like a year later.
Yeah.
And so they would go and drain it and do all that stuff. And this is such a fun episode.
Yeah. You've said the word drain, I don't know how many times in this episode, and it's all been because of wounds.
Yeah, it's all because of wounds.
Well, it's a natural thing, things happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing how the body works, and then sometimes it just doesn't, and you have to adapt to it. So
yeah. Also, you might need to get a tetanus shot if you're getting a wound like from something. Have you had a tetanus shot before?
I think I have. I remember one time I had a little scar here. I had a nail go through one side of my finger.
Why is it always a nail with
and
the
out
tetanus?
the other side? It's never a screw. Because if I'm a screw, then I'd have to be turning my finger like this all the way around and doing it
Right,
specifically.
that makes sense.
But yeah, the nails, it was a rusty nail. I remember I put my hand down and I just like leaned over.
Ow.
And as I leaned over, I like pulled the nail went through my finger and I didn't feel anything. I just looked up and I was like, why can't I move? And I was like, whoa. And I pulled it through and
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was like such a weird thing, but I never got a tetanus shot for it.
You
but,
didn't?
Mm-mm.
Wow. I'm surprised.
I built up an immunity to rust. So like, I'm just like,
Is that why you can't tell when your jokes are getting old?
exactly. You son of a gun. Boom.
Alex just gave me this face like this. Yeah,
Yeah.
boom, roasted.
And it all goes back to oxidizing.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Wow.
Have a wound related, let's see, have a wound. Oh, and if you have a wound related to radiation
Hold on one
exposure,
second.
what?
Alex was stunned by that, by the way.
Which one?
He was in awe of the oxidizing.
Like the coming back to oxidation.
Yeah. That's also good improv too. Oh, whoa. I like that. That was
Or
good
even
improv.
better is, hey, that guy over there liked my joke.
That's it. The guy, oh my God. Yeah.
Can we all just stop and acknowledge that
Yeah.
guy in the corner liked my joke?
Okay. What are you talking about? Wounds again? Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it.
What was the last thing you said though? I did cut you off. I'm sorry.
The last thing is if you have some sort of a wound from radiation related to like radiation exposure,
Mhm.
like, okay, let's talk about this just for 1 second. Silkwood. Did you see the movie Silkwood?
No. Is that wait.
It's with Meryl Streep. It's from the 70s. Shares in it. They are exposed to like all of this radiation from a nuclear plant.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Right. And you've heard Silkwood shower before, right?
Mhm, yeah.
Because she's exposed to this radiation. And I believe she's got like sores and blisters and things like that. And you know what they do to her? They take a metal brush and they scrape her skin in order to get the the radiated skin off, as if that's going to help.
Okay.
I don't know that would be able to you're saying yes, it would work? Really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
To get the.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So yeah, so it's just like it's basically you're doing like intense
Mhm.
not micro, you're doing intense dermabrasion
Right.
on the spot.
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that this radiation doesn't keep going in.
Well, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it would be completely like it would just be being absorbed as fast as possible,
Right.
because they're both two things that are trying to live. Your
Which
body and the
nuclear power,
radiation. It's just moving forward. So yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize that was a Silkwood.
That's why, and then
and they scrape.
Oh my god! Just that's the part I can never forget is that they're scraping her after she's been exposed to all of this, and
yeah, it's like in Game of Thrones when that one guy, I forgot his name, he starts to get that disease, that rock disease, where like his body will turn to stone, and they end up scraping it off of him. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that part actually.
Well, people don't remember Game of Thrones because it got ruined. No one remembers anything anymore of Game of Thrones.
No, ever since the end.
Ever since the end. The end does not justify the meanness of what these people did. See what I did there?
I do see what you did there.
That's also another good improv. See what I did there?
Yeah, and then the other good one is...
That's my favorite. That's my favorite one. That's the most
disapproving
real.
sigh.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah,
it's disapproving is still approving.
That's true. So, there's approving in there.
Yeah, I approve.
Well, that's pretty much our wound care. Somehow we managed to kill an hour talking about that.
I'll be honest. I think we did more than an hour. I think we got a full two-parter here. I think we got a full two-parter.
Maybe we should split it up because I don't have a guest for next week.
And here's what we'll do. In the middle of it, here's how we'll know. We'll just go, bleh, and we'll just cut it right there.
Yeah.
And we'll just, and then be like on the last episode. And then we'll play the entire half hour from the first episode and then go to the second episode.
So they have to watch this first episode twice?
So next week will be 2 episodes. They're really getting their bang for their buck here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not paying for anything.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
this was fun.
This was very fun. It was funner than I thought it was going to be on the drive over here when I was complaining.
Yeah.
It's not about you guys. It was just like last minute cancellation. And it was the second time. And, people do it. I just don't, it just, I don't know, whatever. This turned out to be really fun. And you're a big help, and Alex is a big help. And I just appreciate you guys so much. And
I learned a lot because, and pretty much none of this stuff I really knew.
No?
The wound care stuff, as far as alcohol, I thought was good for you. Peroxide, I heard something about. I heard some rumblings of peroxide, but, and then salt water I thought was good.
Yeah.
I guess salt water is not as sterile as saline solution because that's
right.
So that's better for you. But keeping it moist, I didn't realize. I thought you're supposed to let things dry out.
Yeah.
I thought scabs were good.
Saline solution also, like when you put it up in your nose, it's like removing anything that's sticky in there.
Right, and it's flushing it down.
It's flushing it out. Right.
It's not so much the thing. It's the force of it going in your nose that's flushing it out, and then the saline's making it sterile.
Yeah, the saline is pulling the whatever liquid is in there out.
Yeah, out. Yeah, and then kind of pulling it out.
Yeah.
Exactly. But also, that's also very scientific too.
Well,
that's what when they go to med school, they go, and then the patient will ingest the meds PO, which means by mouth. PO.
Is that true?
I think it's per oral.
Oh.
And that's the sound they make of the pill going through the body. I used to deliver food to a medical school. And I would listen as I left.
He's walking out the door like this. Yeah. Wait, could you finish that?
Man, these cardiologists are ordering a lot of sausage. That's weird.
But you did used to work in a pharmacy, so that makes sense that you would know what PO is.
And also,
I just thought they needed a purchase order.
Yeah. One purchase order by mouth daily.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching. Please leave in the comments any kind of wounds you've had recently, whether they're psychic, emotional, any kind of wounds, and we'll tend to them in response to your comments.
Yeah. People, where can Nikki find you? Nikki, where can people find you? On the
where can Nikki find me?
On the socials.
You can find me at I am what is it? Oh, Nikki Davis Jr. NICKY Davis Jr. JR. Oh. Also Funny Facial, which is my skincare one. And then you're obviously watching. Well, if you're listening on like a podcast thing, go to Sex, Drugs, and Skincare on YouTube and watch this because we're more interesting to watch probably. What about you? Where can Sandro find you?
I'm on the social things at Sandro, not Sandra, all one word. And at first I thought you said your screen name was I Am Legend. You're like, I Am Legend. And then I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
But okay, so Funny Facial at
and then Nikki Davis Jr.
Nikki Davis Jr.
And then you're Sandro, not Sandra.
Yeah, or something like that.
or something. He just got back on there and like got like immediately got like 400 new followers. I just got 2.
I didn't get 400 new followers.
You got something like
I
that.
paid for all of them.
Oh, I wish I could do that. Okay. Thank you guys so much. This will be out at 3:00 Wednesday. And we will 3 a.m. that is 0300. And we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.
Have a good Thursday.